So in this trig video, we are going to do all the things. We're going to pick out the amplitude, period, phase shift, vertical shift, and midline, and then graph our new problem. Now we are not going to do number 4, and we are not going to do number 6 because they are tangent, so we're just going to do two sines and a cosine. So the first one has just an amplitude of 1. We don't have any change there because there's no a. Then the period will be pi because you're going to do 2 pi divided by 2 because of this 2 here. So that gives you just pi. The phase shift is going to be pi over 2 to the left because it's plus pi over 2 in the parentheses. Then there is no vertical shift because there isn't anything added or subtracted out here. So there's nothing there for you to add or subtract. So that means that the midline just stays at the axis. So y is equal to 0. So you don't have to move anything to do this. Okay, so that means that it's going to go up to 1. It's going to go down to -1. But this time, instead of going down to from 0, oh, I forgot about the pi. So the period is going to be half as wide, and the phase shift means we have to move the whole thing over to the left. So normally, let's just talk about what normal would be. We would start here, and then because of the period being half, instead of going up to here, oh, that's to 2, kidding, up to here, and then here, and then here, and then here. So that's the normal sine curve. We're going to squish all that down. So we would have here, and here, and here. This one would actually stay, and then back up here. So I should have done that in a different color. That was too much. So see, we've cut it down in half. But then we've got to move it all back pi over 2. Well, pi over 2 is 2 blocks. So that means that we're going to start. It's going to almost look like it's running backwards because we are going to, this one, let me use a different color. This one is actually going to go on 0 now. So instead of going up first, it's going to look like it's going down first. So we're going to have this, and then down, back here, and then up, okay, because we're doing this part. And then this guy actually is over here now. So now I can erase all of these pink things, and now we're on track for our new sine curve. So then we're going to go down, down, up, up, down, down. And then on the other side, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to go down, down, up, up, down, down, up. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me know if you have questions. It is a lot to take in. So that is our new and improved, not really, sine curve. Okay, let's do a cosine one. So this cosine one is going to have an amplitude of 4. So that means instead of going from 1 to -1, we're going to go from 4 to -4. This one's period has not been changed because there's no number in there between cosine and theta. So this is no change. That's nice. Then the phase shift is going to be 3 pi over 4 to the right because this is a minus 3 pi over 4. And then the vertical shift is going to be 1 down. So that means that our new midline is y equals -1. Okay, so I'm going to draw that in first. So that means that I need to use this as my midline. That's terrible. Not the axis, not the x-axis. Okay, so that's first thing. Second thing, remember Normally we would start here. Now we're going to start here. Okay, so that's the next thing. Normally we would go, oh wait, but because of this midline, 1, 2, 3, 4 is actually at 3. And -4 is actually 1, 2, 3 at -5. So you got to be careful and think about that. So normally, I keep saying that, you would be down here, and then you would go down again, and then you would come back up. So that would be your normal cosine. Period didn't change. So, well, I wrote none, but it's 2 pi. So period is still 2 pi. So we're not going to spread it out. We're not going to have to do anything crazy with it. But what we are going to have to do is we have to start it 3/4 to the right. Each one of these are 1. So 1/4. So 1, 2, 3/4 to the right means that this is where I need to start. This is not looking correct. And so then that means, did I do something else wrong? Oh, I moved to the left. What is wrong with me? I'm supposed to be moving to the right. Holy cow. Okay, let's try that again. That was probably super confusing. So instead of being up here, I would go 1, 2, 3, and I would start here. That's better. Okay, so that means everything has to move to the right 3. So this one also 1, 2, 3. This one also 1, 2, 3. This one 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then we're going to go continue the normal curve backwards from there. So 2 pi means that we need a dot there, a point there. And then the next one would be down at -5. The next one would be back at 0. So in between those two. Then the next one is up at 3, then back to 0, then back to -5. I'm so sorry that I made that more difficult by not knowing my left from my right. So there is how that one should look. So it's not spread out. It looks spread out, but that's only because it's taller. It's not actually spread out. Okay, and then the last one we're going to do is number 7. Number 7 has lots of things happening. Thank goodness it does not have a period shift. Those are the ones that for some reason are the hardest for me. So amplitude is just 5/2. So you need to know what that really means. So that's a mixed number of 2.5. So that will help you, because now instead of going up to 1, you would really be going to here. So sometimes the mixed number is helpful. Because there's no number after sign before the parentheses, then this is just going to stay 2 pi. There's no period change. We're going to phase shift by going pi to the right. So we're going to move everything to the right 1 whole pi. Vertical shift, we've got a +2, so that means we're going to move up 2, and the midline will be y equals 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put a new midline in, like so. And then we're going to talk about where this would be if we didn't have the phase shift. So the amplitude means that we are going to go up 2.5 from the new purple line. So 1, 2.5. Well, that's a little high. So this is a sine. So normally a sine would start at 0 and then go up 2.5. So that would be the next point. And then we would come back down to 0 and then go down 2.5, which is going to be just underneath the x-axis. And then we go back to 0. So that would be a normal sine curve. Of course, this isn't a normal sine curve because we got to move everything right. No, left. Gosh, I'm having trouble with this left and right. So we're going to move everything left a whole pi. Well, a whole pi is all the way from here to here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks is a whole pi. So basically what that means is what is on 0 is going to be at negative pi, and what is at pi is going to be at 0. So those 2 points don't change, but everything else changes. So they all are going to switch. So instead of having the next point right here at 2.5 above the line, we're going to have to go 2.5 below the line and get rid of this guy. So that's going to change everything. So the one that's 2.5 above the line is at negative pi over 2. And so then we can continue like so. And like right there. Okay, so then that is our finished and moved sine curve. So you just kind of have to wrap your head around each different move and what that means for your graph. And again, the sine curve is not wider, it's just taller.